Good morning. We are going to look this morning at 1 Peter chapter 3, continuing this text that deals with how, at this point, wives connecting with their husbands specifically. Later it'll talk about husbands with wives. That's a section from verse 1 through 7 about marriage. I want to pick up in verse 3. So 1 Peter 3, verse 3, and we're going to read down through verse 5 or so. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. For this is how holy women who hoped in God used to adorn themselves, by submitting to their own husbands. Now, this text, probably in our present world, initially feels antiquated. Our present world very much values external beauty. We see it everywhere, magazine covers. We see it in social media posts. We see it in Hollywood. We see it in our local church. We see it in on the self-consciousness. Even in disorders that get developed, things that have to do with the body and how the body looks and the way we form the body that give obsessive compulsive type disorders along the way. The obsession with the body has become a real issue and a sad issue in American culture. Here as it relates to the virtue and the emphasis that a woman ought to have as the kind of first order of business in her heart. When we read this, we ought not be thinking that it's suggesting that you don't braid your hair, that you never put on jewelry, that you don't ever put on cosmetics or anything like that. That's not the focus. Here's the focus. The word for adorning in verse 3, when it says, do not let your adorning be external, it really sets the stage for it. Because the word for adorning there is the word cosmos in Greek. Now we get words like cosmetic from it. It's not saying don't put on makeup. It's giving a term. We get cosmetic from the word cosmos, and the word cosmos means world. The emphasis here is don't let the world, don't let the externals, don't let that which gives birth to an external perception of your body be the thing that defines you. Instead, find your definition by the internal nature of your character. Things like, verse 4, the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and a quiet spirit, a sense of self-controlled meekness. This is what's precious in God's sight. This is how holy women of previous generations adorn themselves. So the idea here is an economizing. There's a value shift. And here's the value shift. I talked about how we're going to share a series of value shifts. The last one we talked about was about swapping out self-interest for another. Here, it's a value shift of character over cosmetics. And I don't just mean makeup. I mean the way we are concerned with how the world sees us, the cosmos, making sure that we're just how we want to be perceived by the external world. He says, no, shift that. Shift your focus to the unfading beauty of character. So, as a wife, seek godliness. Oh, if you're a single gal, may I encourage you? There's nothing wrong with looking beautiful. There's nothing wrong with taking care of your appearance. But let that be the outflow of your heart. Don't let it be the staple on top of or something added to or a frosting put on something. Let it be the natural outflow of a character that you prize. God longs for the inner beauty of the heart. Let that be your true beauty. And may the Lord bless you today.